Hello, welcome back to Moving to Austin, Texas Homes. I'm Caitlyn Balderas with Haven Homes.
And I'm Leanna Borsellino with Haven Homes.
Yes, also with Haven Homes. And we are here today to tell you about the lovely city of Pflugerville. Pflugerville! That is the first place I lived. When I moved here, literally drove into town, signed for my house I had never seen, and then went to go see my very first home I'd ever purchased in Pflugerville. That was in 2013. So it has some good memories for me. And we're going to share our favorite things and our not so favorite things about Pflugerville today.
Well, I have a good one to add to the not so favorite, the spelling.
Oh, yes.
But it grows on you.
It grows on you.
We'll get into that in a little bit.
We will. Yeah, actually, speaking about the spelling, when we decided to move here, I was actively trying to avoid Pflugerville because I knew I would have to spell that every time I called the credit card company, every time I ever gave my address. They're like, what? Pflugerville. So PF. And you'll see that in Pflugerville, they're very proud of it, and they call everything with a PF.
Mm-hmm.
Family Fun Festival. All of the festivals are PF. So
yeah, anything that has the F, like an F sound to it, will have the PF in it.
Yeah,
so.
little funny, a little dorky, but it's cute. So we're going to tell you all about it, all the pros, all the cons, and then let you decide for yourself if it's somewhere you'd like to live.
Whoop, whoop.
Yeah.
Let's get after it. All right, let's get started with the pros of Pflugerville.
Yes, good things first. So I think the number one draw of Pflugerville for most people is the proximity to Austin. Mm-hmm. It is the closest suburb to the north. So borders with Austin. If you're on 35 and you go north, that's the first thing you hit when you exit Austin city limits. So lots of people like to live in Pflugerville so they can commute right into Austin.
Yes, it's definitely bordering right on. You know, it's still in Travis County. A lot of the other northern suburbs are actually in Williamson County.
Yes.
So definitely a big plus is being part of the Travis County. I think some of the schools actually kind of like annex into the Austin ISD, depending on where you are in Pflugerville.
The way that they do the lines for the schools and the counties and the cities is all a little crazy. So yeah, that's true on some of those. We have lots of ways into Pflugerville. You can go 35, which is kind of our main center of town, and you can go on the 130 toll road, which is on the east side, and then you can get into it from Mopac or Loop 1 or 1 or all the different things we call it on the west side. So lots of ways to avoid traffic.
Yeah, definitely. Number 2, there are a plethora of master planned communities.
Yes. So they have some communities in the older parts of Pflugerville, which would be more like central Pflugerville and the west side of Wells Branch, but then that were built like in the 80s. Yeah. And then in the late 90s, early 2000s until now, they've been building master plan communities a little bit more on the east side.
Yeah. And we actually have, if you watch our other video, there is a massive master plan community called Blackhawk, which we explore around in there a little bit. My parents live in Blackhawk, and my brother and his family live in Blackhawk as well. But there's multiple sections to Blackhawk, and like I said, it is still growing.
It's still growing. They started it in 1997, and it's still building now. So that's the largest one in Pflugerville. We also have Avalon. We have Falcon Point, we have Commons at Row Lane. There's just so many over there on the east side, which is east of the toll road and near Stonehill Shopping Center, Costco, Typhoon, Texas, all these things that we're going to get into.
Yep. Speaking of which, we have a Costco.
Yes, we have a Costco. Another thing about these master plan communities is they always have a pool, community pool, which is very nice when it's over 100 degrees for like 100 days.
Must have when you live in Texas.
Must have. They have parks. Some of them have a gym or an outdoor workout center. And a lot of them have schools right in the communities. So it's very family friendly and very convenient to walk to the schools if that's something you're interested in.
Welcome back to our channel. Real quick, before we get started, make sure you hit that bell and subscribe. And if you're wanting to move now or a year from now, be sure to give us a call. send us a text, write us an email, or let's get on a Zoom call, because it's never too soon to basically get started on your research.
Yeah, we love answering questions, and it's never too early. I know when I was relocating here, I asked my realtor a ton of questions and was super thankful for him. And so we want to be that resource for you. So the question is never too small, and it's never too early.
Amen. Amen. All right, number 3 on our list is the availability of shopping.
Yes, some people think of Pflugerville, especially East Pflugerville, as being like so far away from 35, but they have a whole shopping center right off the toll road.
Stonehill.
So it has a Target. It has a Chick-fil-A, which is my favorite.
Oh, yeah.
That's not shopping, but it's eating while shopping. There is a Ross. There's a Maurice's. They have Specs.
Specs just opened.
Yeah.
Specs just opened. That's a big one.
Yeah, they have, and then they even have specialty things like a billiards place, and I think they have some outdoor furniture stuff.
Yeah, there's a Petco.
Another furniture
movie
place.
theater.
Movie theater, yeah. So and a lot of smaller shops. So
restaurants. There's a Torchy's Tacos, which is kind of a big deal.
And then right across the toll road is where Costco is. They just put in a Kohl's. It's really developing over there. And so you do not have to go into Austin. You do not necessarily have to go into...
Ooh, and there's a Hobby Lobby coming in.
Oh,
which
yeah,
I'm
we just
super
saw that
excited about.
the other day. So, yeah.
We're like, oh my God. And that's going to go in right across from the Typhoon, Texas.
Yes.
So it's right over there by Stonehill.
Yeah, they're actually developing that whole area down that side with more stores. So
yeah, take all my money.
Yeah. If anyone's listening, I would like you to put like a Michael's or Joann's or some kind of craft store. That'd be really nice. I guess they have craft stuff at Hobby Lobby.
Yeah,
too.
it's Hobby
Lobby. So we definitely like it. There's 2 HEBs in Pflugerville, and then one that I would consider in Pflugerville, but technically the address is Round Rock. So that's the one that I used to go to when I lived there.
Yeah, okay.
So you have lots of choices and pretty much all the big stores that you need, and you don't have to go into another city. So we love it. We love all the shopping in Pflugerville.
Number 4 on our list is schools.
So when you compare Pflugerville to Austin, it's better rated than most of the schools in Austin.
Better than Austin.
Yes, it is a B rating. So some of the other surrounding schools have a little higher, but it's a B rating. So depending on where you're coming from, that might be an upgrade to you. And it is really dependent on like what part of Pflugerville you're living in. So there's 22 elementary schools, 6 middle schools, and 4 high schools.
Yeah, that's a lot.
It's a lot. It's a big ISD for sure.
A lot of options. And honestly, if you have your kid in one school and you decide that you don't like it very much, you can easily request a transfer. It's not that difficult. You know, and sometimes the kids just don't get along with their other peers, and so they want a fresh start. And Pflugerville makes that pretty easy for you.
Yeah, so they have a transfer process. And they also have some Spanish immersion schools as well.
Oh, that is true, actually. Yeah. Oh, good point. Number 5 on our list is parks and trails.
Yes. So there are so many parks in Pflugerville. That's the thing that jumped out to me the most when I moved there. Coming from San Diego, there are some bigger parks, but not so many neighborhood parks. Yeah. And when I lived in the old part of Pflugerville, I could walk easily to about 5 parks.
There's a lot of them.
Yeah.
Even to I'm from this area, and to this day, there'll be like mom meetup groups, and they'll announce a new park that I'm like, oh, I've never been here before.
Yeah,
so
lots
I just
of parks.
keep getting blown away by how many parks there are.
It's very easy to access the parks, and there is a trail, the Pflugerville Hike and Bike Trail, that I really enjoyed spending time on when I lived there, and I guess I could still go there now, that it's away from the road. So if you're wanting to ride your bike, but you're worried about getting hit by a car, or you have little kids and they want to ride their scooters, it's really peaceful. It kind of goes along a creek, so there's lots of trees.
A lot of those here too, by the way.
Creeks, yes, and lots of shade, and it actually sneaks its way through Pflugerville, and it's really beautiful. I actually kind of miss being able to walk out of my house and go walk over there.
It's pretty nice. Actually, when I first moved back to Austin, I moved away for approximately a 10-year window. But when I first moved back, I moved in with my brother and his wife in Pflugerville, and I was very close to Pflugerville Lake, and I walked that lake every single day, rain or shine, because I had a dog. And you know, when you dog lovers, we walk our dogs.
Yes.
So, but man, I loved having that lake so close by.
Yeah, I believe it's 3.2 miles, something like that. The Pflugerville loop all the way around the lake. It really is beautiful over there. I enjoy going there too.
Number 6 is Attractions.
So I'd say the biggest attraction, which has gone in since I moved here 10 years ago, is Typhoon, Texas.
Typhoon, Texas!
It is a water park. People come from all around. You know, I'm like, oh, it's right here. We can go. I talk to people when I'm there that came like 3 hours to go there, and they have really good deals for season passes.
I have a season pass every year, so if you move here and you want to, you might see me there.
Yeah, it's like less than going 2 times.
Yeah, if you are planning on going to Typhoon, Texas twice or more, it is cheaper just to get the season pass. Yeah. Let me tell you. Yeah. And I've been getting the season pass since I think 2019, so the year before COVID started. Okay. And then it was the only thing to do during COVID because a lot of things had closed down, and they kept Typhoon, Texas open because it was open space. Yeah. So that's where I took my kids, and I spent a ton of time.
Yes, a ton. And what's nice about having the pass is you get off work, you go for a couple hours, you enjoy it, you don't feel like you have to spend the entire day there, and so it's
But they also have a lot of night events, they'll do like firework displays over the wave pool.
Yeah, they do movies in the pool. They have bands there on the weekends.
Adult nights.
Yeah, it's super fun. I would go without my kids sometimes.
Yeah. But one of my favorite things about Typhoon, Texas, because, you know, my kids are a little bit older now. They're 6 and 8. But when, you know, back then, I was quite frequently just at the splash pad, right? Because they're very little, toddling around. But the kiddie section is amazing because they got all these water slides for kids, and they got the splash pad. But what I loved, I was like, man, they really are marketing to Texas parents over here. They have a bar that overlooks the splash pad, and you only go there for alcoholic drinks. Like, that's all you get. So my kids will walk up there and be like, oh, can I have a soda? And I'm like, no, sorry, we don't serve that here. Like, you can get water or a glass of ice, but everything is just alcohol.
This is for the grown-ups, kids.
Just for the grown-ups. That's hilarious. So the parents get to have their drink while they watch their kids the splash pad over at the kiddie area. So I personally thought that was amazing.
Yeah, and I have older kids. My kids right now range from 8 to 17. And so it's really nice because I can go and post up and maybe work from a cabana, and they can just run around, and it's safe, and there's lifeguards. And so that was nice for me because I've graduated to the level where my kids can go off without me. And so or my older 2, I could drop off there and they could enjoy.
Nice.
So,
I'm not quite there yet.
Yeah,
so.
it's a lovely stage of life.
All right, next on that list, we took a lot of time on Typhoon, Texas. Can you tell we like it though?
We like it. Come to Typhoon,
and you can
Texas.
see it from the toll road, by the way, from 130. You can see it. So.
Yeah, and it's right across from the Stonehill Shopping Center we've talked a lot about.
That's right.
So also, you were saying you really like to go to Spare Time.
Yes, I do like Spare Time. Spare Time is a bowling alley, but they got an arcade. They got an axe throwing space. They have laser tag. My kids love to play the laser tag. And there's 2 different sections for bowling as well for the kids. So you can go into like the more private area or the more open space side. They do parties there. Yeah. They're very like community oriented. So my kids go to school in Hutto, and Spare Time gives out, you know, free passes to go bowling or to play the laser tag. And so they just are very, I want to highlight them because I feel like they do a good job at reaching out to the community and letting kids know that they're welcome there.
Yeah, their food isn't bad either. I've eaten there
they got a
while
good
bowling
restaurant
a couple times.
That's not normally something you say about a place like that. You're like,
it's
sometimes the food's kind of like, blah.
Yeah.
Spare Time is pretty good.
Yeah. And another place that is similar to that, but more central in Pflugerville is Austin Parks and Pizza.
Yes.
Right there on the border of Austin and Pflugerville. I do think they actually just changed their name to Austin's recently, but all of us that have been here for a while are going to always call it Austin Parks and Pizza. They have go-karts. They have mini golf.
Putt-putt.
They have...
Wait, you just said that.
Mini golf, yeah. Mini golf, putt-putt. They have a rock climbing wall. They have all kinds of stuff.
They got like a roller coaster inside.
Yeah, they have bowling, and they have a buffet. They have a pizza buffet that my kids like. So
I'm gonna vote between the food between Austin Parks and Pizza and Spare Time now and say Spare Time wins.
Yeah, Spare Time definitely. You can get passes for the whole day to be able to do all the things. There's an arcade. It definitely is a main attraction for birthday parties.
Oh yeah, it's a lot of fun. I definitely would recommend going there. And they have a ton ton of stuff for the kids to do, so you are not going to get bored.
So in the last couple years, I've bought something called the Pogo Pass. They have them for different regions, but they have one for the San Antonio Austin region, and they actually include Austin Parks and Pizza in there, and they let you go quarterly.
Oh,
and this pass is
nice.
like, I think it's like $60, and then sometimes they have it on Groupon for like $40.
Oh.
And you can go to Austin Parks and Pizza, you can go to Monster Mini Golf.
Oh, I like Monster Mini Golf.
Yes, that's technically in Round Rock, but almost in Pflugerville.
On Gaddy's School. That's right there on the board.
You get one entrance to Caitlyn, Texas, if you didn't already have the membership.
Tell me more. Tell me more.
Yeah, I know. I'm gonna have to do like a whole special on this and be an affiliate or something. But like, it has a bunch of little random things. Oh, all the way up to Waco too. So they have like Dr. Pepper Museum. They used to have the Waco Zoo or the Cameron Park Zoo. I think they took it off. Anyway, I digress. But if you think you're gonna want to spend a lot of time at Austin Parks and Pizza, highly recommend getting that because you get to do bowling, and then they have another one that's for other stuff.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So in addition to that, we have DBAT, which is what is it called?
Batting cages.
Batting cages. And so my older son has played baseball for years, and my younger son a little bit too. And so we've spent time there, and they actually do birthday parties there as well. And so I hear people drive from further out cities to go there to go to DBAT.
Yeah, it's like very fancy batting cages is the way I would describe it.
Indoor batting cages.
Yeah, very nice.
Yep.
So.
And then we have Lake Pflugerville, which we talked about a little bit, but for me, coming from San Diego, like I miss the beach, and I definitely would not call it a beach, but they have an area that's kind of like a beach. It's like a rock beach.
Rocky beach.
But when my kids were younger, we would go there and spend hours there with our friends and swimming in Lake Pflugerville, and you can do non-motorized boating. So you can do kayaks, you can do paddle boards. They actually have a rental station there.
Catch and release.
Yeah. So it is a man-made lake, but it is a nice little lake there, and I think it's really beautiful, like we said, walking around it.
Yeah, I enjoy it. It does get a little bit windy though, so if you think that the day feels like it's windy, you go to Lake Pflugerville, it's gonna be hard to
blow you away.
So maybe don't go on a very windy day, because it's just super, super windy.
Yes, that's true.
So that's probably my only downside for Lake Pflugerville, but I love it. I mean, it was perfect.
Okay, so those are our top pros. So now we're going to switch over to the cons.
Uh-oh.
So the cons. I would say number one would be traffic. So if you are going to go mainly on 35, it backs the traffic during rush hour, morning and afternoon and evening, backs up into Pflugerville.
And they have a crappy exit ramp right over there too.
Yes.
I am not a fan of the exit ramp from 35 onto the toll.
Yes. It is a little scary.
They need to do a better job of that.
So I would say that's probably the biggest con about Pflugerville. The bright side is you can take the toll if you're willing to pay for it, which it's not super expensive.
I pay for it.
Yeah, it's worth it. There's not as many people on there because they don't want to pay for it. So you can avoid some of the traffic by going up Mopac Loop 1, or you can go up 130 depending on what side of town you're on.
I just feel where 35 and 130 meet, they don't do an easy access, like to get on the toll road. You have to
there's no flyover bridge, which we have here, these big flyover bridges to connect you directly. For whatever reason, I think they ran out of money when they were building it, and they just didn't make one. So
it's very annoying, and that's like the main area where it's just frustrating. You have to like go out of your way to get onto it, and a lot of times I just avoid it altogether and go straight to Gaddis School now, because I can't stand trying to get onto that darn toll. Yeah, and the more populated that Pflugerville gets, the more traffic there is, and even on the surface streets in Pflugerville. So I'd say that's the biggest con of Pflugerville. So con number 2 is the schools. Yes, we had that on the pros. We're going to highlight a little bit of why it's on the cons. So it is a B rating, which in general sounds pretty good, but when you compare it to some of the nearby ISDs like Round Rock and Leander ISD, it is lower. So we're just going to throw that out there just so you're aware, but there are some really amazing charter schools in Pflugerville as well. There are. There's
Idea.
I would say Idea, I think, is the main one.
Idea is the main one, and then Meridian is in Round Rock, but it's nearby, so you have options. And then
there's some private schools. Yeah, Harmony, and there's also Cross Life, which is off Kelly Lane for a private school if you're looking to go to a good private school. Yep.
So there are other options if school ratings are very important to you, but we did just want to highlight that a B is going to be better for some people than where they're coming from, but worse for some other people from where they're coming from, and then a little lower than some of the surrounding areas.
Right, absolutely.
Yep. So number 3 is the prices have been increasing because we are the closest to Austin. So as people, like, Austin prices are crazy compared to the suburbs, and so as people are getting priced out of Austin, they're starting to move into the surrounding areas, and they're like, wow, it's only $750,000, that's such a great deal, and then, you know, they're paying more, and so we have seen the prices in Pflugerville go quite high, especially during COVID.
Yeah, I would say that Pflugerville is a more expensive area to live than if you were to move to, let's say, Round Rock or Hutto.
Yeah.
So and they're comparable.
Hutto.
So yeah, Hutto's a lot more affordable. Yeah. So you can get a lot more bang for your buck in the Hutto area, or if you want to go out even further to Taylor.
Leander, yeah, it's definitely a proximity price that people are willing to pay so that they can commute for a shorter amount of time.
Actually, when I ended up moving back here with my kids, and like I said, I was living with my brother and his wife in Pflugerville. I ended up buying my first house. I couldn't afford to buy a house in Pflugerville at the time, so I moved to Hutto, and that is actually why I got into Hutto. And I'm very glad that I did. I love Hutto, so now I have no plans to leave. So, yes. But that is actually why I filtered over into Hutto, was because I couldn't afford the starter homes, and I got a very nice starter home in Hutto, so I'm pretty satisfied with how it all turned out.
Yeah.
And I actually like Hutto better than Pflugerville. So,
yeah. Well, when I moved to Pflugerville in 2013, and I bought my very first house for $187,000.
What? Oh my gosh. Wait, what year was that?
2013.
Oh my God,
it
girl.
Was 4 bedrooms, 2.5 bath, 2,600 square feet with a pool on a cul-de-sac.
The equity on that house. I can't imagine. Lord.
And then I sold it in 2019 for $270,000. But then, and I'm so sad, I would have kept that as an investment property, which is what I guide my clients to do. But it had a pool, which is not great for an investment property. So I went ahead and sold it. And during COVID, I think it was up to $450,000 or something. Mm-hmm. It's come down a little bit more now, but I love that house. And you can just see over time how much the prices have gone up.
Yeah.
Okay, so number 4 would be crime. So it did have the highest crime out of the cities that we've gone over so far. It's a C+ on niche.com for crime. Now, it is close to a large city.
Yeah, that's true. Like, why is the crime a little bit higher in Pflugerville? Well, for that reason right there. You know, there's a lot more crime typically in large cities. Pflugerville is the closest neighboring city in the northern suburbs. And so it's just natural that it spills over into Pflugerville.
It does. And I will say this, though. I see police presence everywhere in a very healthy, safe way. I've had a couple interactions, like speeding tickets and expired registrations that I hadn't moved the sticker yet. And I've had very, very positive interactions with the police. And I do see them out a lot. And also at community events.
There's a lot more police presence in Pflugerville than... And not saying that there's not police presence in Round Rock or Hutto, but there's just a lot more, and it's noticeable in Pflugerville. And also, I will say that if you are from the Austin area, it is well-known knowledge that Travis County Police are nicer than Williamson County Police. And Pflugerville is Travis County. I'm just saying, it's well-known knowledge.
Yes.
I'm sharing that with you here.
That is what most people say. I've had pretty positive interactions with both.
I'm not hating on Round Rock or Williamson County cops.
Yes.
I'm just saying that it's pretty well-known knowledge that the community likes Travis County cops.
Yes. We will just leave that one right there for y'all. Number 5, which is our last con of Pflugerville, is the roads. I mean, they are kind of rough, especially in the areas on the east side. There were these farm roads, and then they built these mega subdivisions.
Potholes everywhere. Yeah. Oh my God, fill them in.
We were driving through to do some of our tours this week, and it was just like, oh my goodness.
So, is that person drunk? No, they just avoid the potholes.
So these thin, only one lane each direction farm roads were not updated when they made these hundreds and hundreds of homes on the east side of Pflugerville that used to all be farmland. So they are starting to get pretty beat up. I know it is in the plans to have them worked on and upgraded and everything, but it's gonna take some time. And it is honestly rough driving over there, especially on the east side sometimes.
I know.
So I will say this, one of the things that stood out to me when I moved to Pflugerville from San Diego was I saw the maintenance people fixing potholes in my neighborhood and straightening street signs, and I was like, I've never seen that before. Like, the government is actually taking care of
they do that all the time over here.
That's not how it was where I came from. So
you're always going to see people working on the roads here. That will never stop.
That's actually a pretty big joke here with TxDOT. Is like, be like 35, never stop working on yourself. So they are doing it on the highways, just not so much on these little country roads.
Yeah,
so
main roads are great, back roads
not great. So
thank you for joining us today. We hope that you enjoyed our pros and cons video for Pflugerville, Texas.
Pflugerville. So we hope that this helped you decide maybe if you want to research it some more, if you want to check it out. It really is a great place to live. It's really close to Austin, and I really enjoyed it. Yeah. Give us a call, shoot us a text, send us an email, or better yet, Zoom call. We want to answer all your questions, whether you're moving now or a year from now. So please make sure you subscribe and turn on your notifications so you don't miss any more of our videos. We have a minimum of 3 videos for every city. So if you like this Pflugerville video, there's another Pflugerville vlog, and then there's another one where we do listings at different price points. So it gives you even more information about Pflugerville. So make sure you follow along with us.
Yeah, come be our neighbor.
Yeah, and let's get you to Texas.
Ciao for now.